Looking very glam.
American
Mum. Looking very glam, well done.
Thank you. Well, it's Christmas.
Listen,
What?
I have to ask, as an old friend, I have to ask you these questions about your social life, which seems to me, as an old friend, be getting a bit out of hand. Now,
Is it?
Well, how many blokes are on the go at present?
Well, the papers were wrong. They said it was 5, but it's 6.
It's 6. All right.
Yes, not sex, 6.
6. Safety in numbers, is that the...
Yeah, they're great. You know, I mean, I love men anyway. You know, I was brought up with men. You know, I have 3 brothers, and this whole business, as the girls know here, is dominated by men. And so I get on better with men than birds, you know. And I have a lot of them. A lot of men in my life.
Are there any serious contenders?
No. They're all just really good friends.
What about that guy at Reading, Mr. Majeski? And I've seen you sit there. I'm a season ticket holder at Reading, and I look along the line and...
No, you're a cricket man. Don't go there.
Any sport. I'm perving along a line like that. I mean, certainly that is my game. And I see you there next to this guy.
No, you don't.
Yes,
no, you don't, because we're great friends. No. We're mates, Mikey. No, John is a great friend.
No,
he's a
nice
great
man.
mate.
He's a good man.
You know, there's no hidden agenda there. It's purely platonic.
All right, but...
It just so happens he's a multi-millionaire.
But,
and that helps. As Joan, you agree with me, don't you, Joan?
Oh, my God. Always get a gift. And never return it.
Never return.
You return CDs. You keep anything that's hard.
Right. Well,
You
I've
pick
not
up
been
another.
there yet. No.
What about dating advice? Are you getting any advice from friends of yours?
Yes, lots of, especially Dale, our good friend Dale Winton. We were all in Spain together, actually. Yeah. And I was going on my first date. It was a lunch date for the first time. And I'm talking about 5 years ago now, really, because everybody loved Bobby. Everybody did. And it was hard for me. It was really hard. So it was difficult. And I was going out to dinner one night with Dale. And I said, oh, Dale, I'm terrified. It's only lunch. But, you know, I'd like to invite him in for a cup of coffee. What do I do about this? And he was, you know, he was really... leave it with me, doll, he said. Leave it with me. I said, it might go into the evening. You know what Spain is like, blah-de-blah-de-blah. And he was great. He gave me the best advice. He said, you know, I'd really like you to come in for coffee, but it doesn't mean breakfast. And I thought that was the best advice ever. But I don't even need that now. You know, I'm really so cool on that. You know, I just invite them in and I sling them out. I do.
And what didn't Joan Collins offer you some advice as well?
Oh, Joni is great. Oh, she just said, never date a guy with grey chest hair. But I've never been down that far.
They don't believe you.
No, I haven't.
But I mean, all seriously. I'm delighted that you're having a good time because you know you and Bobby were very much in love. You lost a great mate as well as a husband.
Yes.
And quite obviously, it's a good thing. You have to move on, no matter how much you're in love and all that. You have to move on. There's a new life starts up.
It's not a question of moving on. It's adapting. You know, it really is adapting. I mean, Joan, you
I've
were
been
married
through
a
it.
long time too. So it's a question of sort of moving on in that way and adapting. And, you know, I'm really at the happiest time in my life. I really am.
Are you?
Yes, the happiest I can be without Bobby.
Sure.
I really am.
Yeah.
I'm at the happiest time. And I'm having fun. And why shouldn't I go out with fellas?
You should. I agree with you.
You're just jealous, that's why.
Bobby loved you very, very much. He always called out your name when we were having sex.
We were talking before the show, and we were actually, that's the subject we were talking about. You totally said, you know, you've got to have mad, passionate sex on the carpet. And I said, why? And Joan said, well, you know, if you fall out of bed, you might break your hip. Now that
At this age, you do it low down to the ground.
The other thing, too, that you said you wouldn't... I thought you retired. And now you're coming back to work.
Yeah, but I also said, Michael, that I'd really like to ease my way back into television again. Just ease my way. But I never realised how difficult easing your way back into television is. I mean, doing a show, and I'm so excited about Soap Stars Superstar. It's live, it's 1.5 hours long every single night for 8 days. And I have to be in Manchester, which, you know, is my second home. Do you work out?
I do. You like
I can
that?
tell you, it's
Yeah.
firm. It's very...
Boy.
Well, not so...
I mean, they're not
No,
they're not-
when you do that, it's firm.
Yeah.
But that is okay. Oh,
There's no perks of the job, actually.
But
It's a
getting back
bonus.
to Manchester,
You get back to
it'd be
Manchester.
great to go up north, you know, to do this live show, and it'll be extraordinary because you've got to think about it. I am not working with amateurs here. It's with
These are soap stars
actors.
who want to be
they're
pop
actors
stars.
and they're pros. They're professional.
It's part of this thing nowadays, isn't it, about people, you know, wanting to be famous as singers and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that's how they get their break nowadays, the X Factor being the example of that. Looking back on your career, I mean, if the X Factor had been around in the 60s, would you have been a contestant?
Oh,
would you have
I
gone
would
for
have
it?
been the first in the
Would
queue.
you?
Oh, yeah, I would have won it. I would have won it.
You would, you would
Oh,
sing.
absolutely, because that's the attitude you've got to have. That's really the attitude. And Martine and Joan would say this, because I've read your book.
Oh, I
really,
love you
way
so
back.
much.
Way back. No, I did, because you have to do it. This is what you want to do. And that's what it's the hunger for being... You know, if you think you have a modicum of talent, or, as in my case, I thought I had a lot of talent, I wanted to be famous. And I was brought up in Scotty Road. My father was a docker. My mother had a second-hand stall in the market. And they always instilled on me, you know, to do better than what I've got. And then, you know, my father being Irish and, you know, my grandfather, my mother was half Welsh, and I'm Welsh. All the Welsh sing. Well, they do, don't we? Bryn.
Bryn, what a
Yeah,
voice.
we all
What a
sing.
voice.
And so I wanted to do that. I mean, I'd watch Doris Day movies with my mother, you know, in the local picture house. And she'd talk about, you know, the yard. The yard. Well, the yard to me is where we kept the coal and the outside loo, the only loo. But her yard was 3 acres of greenery. And I thought, I want some of that. I really want some of that.
Well, there you are, you see, now. I mean, jet setter, jetting all over the world. America you've been to, the aforesaid Stones. Went as their guest to a concert there.
Oh, gosh, it was fab.
Yeah, I bet it
I
was
went
too.
to LA to see my girlfriend who I went to school with, Pat in LA, who's married an American. And, yeah, I am a friend of the Stones, but a dear friend of Ronnie Wood and Joe Wood, who I absolutely adore. And we were in town, and I wanted to see the show, and how cool is this? They laid on a police escort for me from the Four Seasons Hotel. Oh, yes, going on the opposite side of the road. Well, they do that anyway in your country. You know, you go down... but you know that the Stones are getting on a bit, because whereas there used to be a party after the show, they had the do before. They did.
They all probably sleep on low beds as well.
Well, no, it was all fabulous. It was all like sort of being in Morocco backstage, and they were all so sweet to me. I had a great time.
But you
I
love
went from
American.
there to New York. I love America.
Could you live there?
I could live in New York.
Yeah, so could I.
Yeah, New York, yeah.
Yeah.
Been to
Yeah,
LA.
I love New York.
Yeah.
New York's the best.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah,
Well, the
love it.
culture and Cliff, I persuaded Sir Cliff to buy a place off of Madison. Oh, I had the best time.
What?
Well, I was going to lunch with Cliff, and I was taxi drivers, but they're all foreign, aren't they?
It's all over with them. Yeah, they're all terrorists. You just get in, you tip, and you keep your hand on the door.
Well, I was actually going to Nello's, the restaurant on
Yeah,
Madison
it's right
Avenue.
where I live. Go on.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yes.
Cliff lives off of there.
Who do you think
Fabulous.
Cliff lives with? I said, Cliff, take it to Nello's.